some mud, some straw, some water, and create a little cob. And
Misty Rainey, the tough and determined face from Homestead Rescue, has always appeared as that unshakable woman ready to guide struggling families towards survival in the wild. To viewers, she's the fearless problem solver who never backs down from a challenge. But away from the cameras, Misty's life tells a much deeper story, one marked not only by strength, but also by pain and personal battles she rarely shares. In recent times, whispers have spread about Misty stepping back from the show, along with rumors about struggles in her private world. So, what's really going on? Stay with us until the end of this video as we peel back the curtain and reveal the heartbreaking truth about Misty Rainey's journey, one that might leave you stunned. Who is Misty Rainey?
And after watching the Homestead Rescue episode that we were in, we thought it was pretty crazy.
When audiences first meet Misty Rainey on Homestead Rescue, what immediately stands out is her fearless attitude. She's the kind of woman who doesn't hesitate to dig in, lift heavy beams, or get her hands dirty when helping families create a life off the grid. That determination comes from a childhood forged in one of America's most unforgiving landscapes, Alaska. Misty Rainey entered the world on the 9th of November 1979 in Sitka, Alaska. She grew up in the adventurous Rainey household, raised by her parents, Marty and Molly. Her father, Marty Rainey, is well known for his wilderness expertise, and it was only natural that he instilled the same grit and survival skills in his children. Alongside her brothers Matt and Miles, Misty learned from an early age how to build, hunt, farm, and safeguard the family's homestead. While other kids were busy riding bikes in suburban streets, Misty was out hauling buckets of water, butchering meat, and preparing food for long winters. The Alaskan environment demanded self-reliance. Living far from city comforts meant the Raineys depended on nature for nearly everything: food, shelter, clean water, and warmth. Winters were brutal, so preserving supplies wasn't a choice. It was survival. Misty was raised in this rugged way of life and grew up deeply connected to the family's building trade, known as Alaska Stone and Log, which focused on crafting homes from natural resources. As she matured, Misty carried those lessons with her. Skilled in farming, construction, and hunting, she built a life that blended survival with passion. She even took up surfing, a sport that perfectly mirrored her adventurous spirit. Her talents eventually brought her to television as one of the central faces of Homestead Rescue. On the show, the Raineys use their lifelong skills to help families struggling to adapt to remote homesteading. With her father, Marty, as the lead, already famous for hosting Ultimate Survival Alaska, the Raineys became known nationwide for their resilience. Misty isn't the only one carrying on the family legacy. She has an older sister, Melanie, who runs Chugach Adventures, a canoe and guiding business in Alaska. Her brother Miles has carved a path as an outdoorsman and mountain biker, and her brother Matt, perhaps the most recognized of the siblings, is a regular on Homestead Rescue. A skilled builder, guide, and farmer, Matt appears on the series with his wife Katie and their child. In her personal life, Misty found a partner who shares her love for the outdoors. She married Micaiah Bilodeau, a carpenter and surfer, in March 2000. Together, they welcomed a son, Gage, in April 2011. The couple built a cozy 800-square-foot cabin near the Rainey family's property in Hatcher Pass, Alaska, while also maintaining a home in Hawaii, where they often spend winters. Despite her public role, Misty has always been private about her marriage and family, occasionally sharing glimpses on social media. When Homestead Rescue first aired in 2016, Misty quickly became a fan favorite. Her specialty, farming and food preservation, made her indispensable on the show. She guided families on how to grow crops, keep animals, and protect their harvests in tough climates. Viewers admired that Misty's help wasn't just practical. It came with genuine care. Families trusted her not only because she knew what she was doing, but also because she carried empathy in every project. Over the years, Misty transformed from simply a cast member into the heart of the series. She symbolized strength, compassion, and the spirit of survival. Yet, like many who appear unshakable, Misty had her own private struggles and sorrows, challenges viewers rarely got to see. Misty Rainey's hidden battles.
We're determined to succeed here.
And they set us up for exactly that.
Yeah.
When fans watch Homestead Rescue, Misty Rainey often looks like a rock, cheerful, determined, and always ready to lift a struggling family's spirits. But what people sometimes forget is that strength doesn't erase struggle. Misty, like anyone else, has had her share of personal challenges. Behind her confident smile and tough exterior, she carries battles that cameras don't always capture. One of the biggest hurdles Misty has openly talked about is her body image. Growing up in the wilderness of Alaska, appearances never mattered much. Survival did. As a child, no one cared about fashion or weight. It was about whether you could chop wood, haul water, or prepare food for winter. But stepping into the public eye changed that. Suddenly, it wasn't only her skills people noticed, it was also her body. From Season 1 to Season 3, some fans noticed her weight shifting, and the comments began. The whispers and speculations were hard to miss. Some viewers worried about health issues, while others assumed stress eating. A few even wondered if she was pregnant. Misty addressed it herself, explaining that when you live off the land, your body changes with the work. She pointed out that extra weight isn't unusual for homesteaders. It's energy storage for tough conditions. She even joked about the pregnancy rumors, though they turned out to be false. Still, the comments left their mark. Misty has admitted she's had times of insecurity. Unlike most women, her self-doubts played out in front of a nationwide audience, amplified by social media, where strangers freely voice harsh opinions. Yet instead of letting the criticism consume her, she chose to be honest. Misty opened up about her body struggles and reminded fans that her value isn't measured on a scale. It's reflected in her work, the families she helps, and the love she gives to her own. But body image wasn't her only trial. The demands of television brought another challenge, balancing her personal life with the grueling filming schedule. Homestead Rescue requires long days, rough conditions, and weeks away from home. For a woman who treasures her family deeply, being apart from her husband and son hasn't been easy. Like many mothers, Misty has wrestled with guilt, exhaustion, and the constant pressure to be both a dedicated parent and a reliable cast member. Then there's the lifestyle itself. Homesteading isn't a seasonal activity. It's year-round labor. Harsh winters, unpredictable storms, and endless work weigh heavily, both physically and emotionally. Even Misty, who grew up in this lifestyle, has moments of fatigue and frustration. On camera, viewers occasionally catch glimpses of her exhaustion, which only makes her more relatable. She doesn't romanticize off-grid living. She shows it for what it is: hard, demanding, and sometimes overwhelming. What makes Misty remarkable isn't that she hides her struggles, but that she embraces them. She has shown fans that vulnerability is just as powerful as strength. By being open about insecurities, about the toll of fame, and about the relentless demands of homesteading, she's built a deeper connection with people who see themselves in her story. And that's what resonates most. Misty doesn't stand above the families she helps. She meets them on equal ground. She knows what it feels like to be tired, discouraged, and unsure. That empathy is what makes her advice so valuable. It comes not just from skill, but from lived experience. Her journey proves an important truth. Everyone struggles, no matter how tough they look. What matters isn't avoiding struggle, but how you rise after it. Misty has fallen, questioned herself, and faced criticism, but she always stands back up. And that's why fans continue to see her not only as strong, but also as deeply human. Today, Misty has embraced healthier habits and shed some of the extra weight that sparked so much talk. But through it all, her fans never stopped admiring her. From her first day on Homestead Rescue to now, Misty Rainey remains a figure of strength, beauty, and resilience, inside and out. The story behind Homestead Rescue. Homestead Rescue.
Where are they going to get the best drinking water? And yes,
Has become one of Discovery Channel's most talked about reality shows. It first appeared on screen in 2016 with its debut episode, Abandoned and Alone. Since then, it has grown into a long-running series with 13 seasons and an ever-growing fan base. But what exactly is the heart of this show? In recent years, many families across America, and even beyond, have dreamed of leaving behind city life and chasing a simpler existence. A life off the grid, free from endless bills and constant noise. The idea sounds idyllic, but reality is far more demanding. Living in isolation brings not only freedom, but also harsh winters, scarce resources, and dangerous predators. And while many are drawn to this lifestyle, few have the survival skills to succeed. That's where Homestead Rescue steps in. The show follows craftsman and survivalist Misty Rainey, along with his daughter Misty and son Matt, as they guide families struggling to adapt to remote living. Marty, with decades of Alaskan wilderness experience, serves as the anchor. Matt brings his skills as a hunter, fisherman, and builder. Misty, meanwhile, has a gift for turning impossible problems into practical solutions, whether it's teaching families to grow food, preserve it, or create sustainable systems that can last through the toughest seasons. What makes the series gripping is the human drama. Families arrive on screen weary, their homes falling apart, pantries bare, gardens withered, and spirits nearly broken. Many are on the verge of packing up and returning to civilization. Then the Raineys arrive, rolling up their sleeves, rebuilding roofs, fixing water systems, and restoring hope. By the end of each episode, viewers witness a transformation. Families who looked ready to give up now stand proud on land that feels like home again. When Discovery first offered Marty the idea of a show, he and his children were clear. It had to be real. No fake drama, no scripted storylines. They promised to keep it as authentic as possible. And so, each rescue begins with the Raineys meeting families for the very first time at their front gate. They stay for about 10 days, tackling projects that truly matter in that limited time. Of course, not every problem can be solved in such a short period, but they focus on the essentials, the fixes that give people a fighting chance. Filming isn't easy. A single season takes more than 100 days of non-stop shooting, followed by a rushed post-production schedule. Sometimes the crew wraps in March, only to air the finished episodes by June. But despite the grueling pace, the Raineys never backed down. They wanted a series that stayed raw and true, and the effort paid off. The formula struck a chord with audiences. Viewers tuned in not just for the survival tips, but for the tension and emotion. Will the greenhouse survive the storm? Will the livestock make it through the night? Will the water system hold up? These questions keep fans hooked until the final reveal, when a struggling homestead becomes a place of possibility once again. Beyond the personal stories, the show highlights the larger homesteading movement. Some people pursue this life to escape debt, others for health and self-reliance, and some simply because they no longer trust modern systems. But Homestead Rescue makes it clear: homesteading demands everything: your time, energy, and commitment. It doesn't sugarcoat the hardships, and that honesty is part of its appeal. As with most reality shows, questions have surfaced. Do the Raineys get paid? Salaries for reality TV stars typically range from $50,000 to $80,000 annually, with top earners reaching $100,000. Marty, Misty, and Matt earn comfortably from the show, though they don't flaunt it with extravagant homes or flashy cars. Who funds the projects? Discovery Channel covers most expenses, though the Raineys are known for reusing and repurposing materials to stretch every dollar. Is the show entirely real? The Raineys insist it is 100% unscripted, though lawsuits and rumors have stirred doubts. Still, the series continues to thrive, controversy or not. By 2025, Homestead Rescue had already expanded into multiple spin-offs: Deconstructed, Rainey Ranch, Tools of the Trade, and building a legacy. Failures are rare to see on air, though one memorable episode in 2017, titled Trapped, showed the Raineys helping a Montana family escape a medical emergency. And what about darker rumors? Despite speculation, no deaths among the cast have ever been confirmed. Experienced professionals ensure safety during dangerous builds and risky conditions. As of today, Discovery has not canceled the show, and Season 13 is set for release this September. So what is Homestead Rescue really about? At its core, it's about second chances. It's about families who are one step from giving up, and the team that helps them believe again. The lawsuits. Reality television may deliver adventure and drama to viewers, but behind the cameras, it often comes with something far less glamorous. Lawsuits. Homestead Rescue is no exception. Despite its success and loyal fan base since its debut in 2016, the series has also been pulled into legal battles questioning its authenticity. The most talked about case came in 2018 when a Virginia couple, Kim and Josh Zebek, who had appeared in the very first season, decided to take the Raineys and Discovery Channel to court. Their lawsuit forced fans to ask a bigger question: just how real is reality TV? The Zabeks weren't just random participants. Josh had a long resume. He described himself as both a farmer and a motivational speaker, with business ties through the Window Hospital Incorporated and his Revolutionary Roots Farm, which he had been running since 2015. His father, Michael Zebek, even authored a sales book, teaching Josh the ropes of marketing from a young age. Kim, however, kept her professional background more private. Their episode, Under Siege, aired in October 2016, showing the Raineys stepping in after pigs had supposedly destroyed parts of the Zabeks' land. On television, it looked like the couple was in over their heads, unable to control their farm. But after the episode aired, Josh and Kim began voicing their disappointment, insisting that the way they were portrayed was misleading. According to their claims, the producers had initially pitched the show as a platform to highlight skilled homesteaders. But once filming started, they said the narrative was twisted. Instead of being presented as competent farmers, they were made to look desperate and unprepared. Worse, the show allegedly ignored key parts of their thriving Revolutionary Roots farm, choosing instead to spotlight chaos and failure. The Zabeks further argued that several scenes had been staged or exaggerated. For example, the pigs weren't signs of neglect. They were being used to clear land as part of farm management. The couple also denied responsibility for the dead chickens featured on screen, suggesting those birds weren't even theirs. To them, the editing painted an unfair picture, leaving audiences to believe their farm was poorly run. That portrayal, they said, brought ridicule, online backlash, hate messages, and harassment followed, causing what they described as real emotional distress. The couple admitted they had agreed to a little added drama for TV's sake, but not to the point where their reputation would be damaged. So they filed a lawsuit, accusing the show of defamation, misrepresentation, and even fabricating events for the sake of entertainment. But when the case reached court, things didn't go in their favor. A judge dismissed the lawsuit, ruling that there wasn't enough evidence to support their accusations. While the show wasn't fined or punished, the ordeal sparked important conversations about how far reality TV producers go in shaping stories for dramatic effect. Even after the ruling, the Zabeks didn't let the matter rest. They spoke publicly, using social media to explain that they regretted taking part in the show, saying the experience had done more harm than good to their image as homesteaders. And they weren't alone. Other participants eventually echoed similar frustrations. One couple, Ren and Innie, who appeared in a Season 2 episode titled Under Pressure in December 2017, also came forward. While they admitted the Raineys had provided real help, they claimed certain aspects of their episode, such as the timeline of events and their use of alternative fuels, had been dramatized or rearranged for TV. The Rainey family has mostly stayed quiet about these controversies. Marty himself has occasionally defended the heart of the show, insisting that its mission has always been to help struggling families find a way to survive off-grid. Yet the lawsuits leave viewers wondering, how much of what they see is true grit and how much is crafted for the screen? So what's your take on Misty Rainey's journey? Do you see her story as one filled with heartbreak or as a life of strength and resilience? Share your thoughts with us in the comments. We'd love to hear your perspective. And if you found this video engaging, don't forget to tap that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell so you'll always be the first to catch our newest stories. Before you head out, stay with us a little longer. Another video is already waiting for you on the screen. Trust us, you won't want to miss it.